All right, I want to talk about absolute value really quickly here. And by absolute value, I just mean this symbol right here. You have two bars. If I have a 3 inside of it, that says the absolute value of 3. Absolute value of 3. The phrase absolute value means the distance from zero. The distance from zero. So what this is saying is that I'm talking about 3 units from zero. Let me say with a star that distance cannot be negative. Distance can't be negative. I can say that I am going like on the number line. I could say that if this is a 0, I can go 1 unit this way, so the distance is 1. I end up at a spot called -1, but the negative just means the direction, right? I could go 1 unit this way, and I end up at a place called +1, but that's again based on the direction, right? So even though I can have a -1, if I took the absolute value of 1, I could go 1 unit this way and 1 unit that way because it's all about the distance. So that's why you might hear people say that when you take the absolute value of -3, you get a +3. If you take the absolute value of just +3, you get a +3. People say it's always positive because when you take the absolute value of something, it's always going to be just distance, and distance is always positive. Now, I'm saying it like that because you might have a problem that says, say, negative the absolute value of 3. Now, I know the absolute value of 3 is 3, but the negative is not a part of that, so I can't forget about it. The answer to this would be -3. If I said the negative absolute value of 2 plus 1, I would have to do this absolute value stuff first. So I would have the negative, and then 2 plus 1 is just 3. And I know that there's the absolute value. So this part right here, that part will be 3, but this part needs to be included also. So negative. The answer should be -3. All right. If I look across the way here, and if I look at Alex, I might have, for example, this absolute value of 7 minus 9. Now, the absolute value will come from whatever your answer is. So I need to do this first. Keep my absolute value. 7 minus 9 is -2. So I'm looking for the absolute value of 2. Absolute value of -2. The negative is inside the absolute value. So no matter what you get from here, ultimately that part will be positive. In the other example, I have the absolute value of 7 minus 9. Not exactly the same thing. I know that this part right here will give me a +7, but let me bring this -9 with me. 7 minus 9 gives me -2. So what's inside the absolute value matters. What's outside of the absolute value matters. But if you are just taking the absolute value, just that part will be positive. All right. So that's about absolute value. Now that's a very quick overview of it, but that is basically the basic stuff you need to know. Now let's just apply it.